Hello, listeners. I'm the bedtime storyteller, and I hope that these series of stories will bring you peace before bedtime and make you sleep better. Also, where are you from and what time is it at your place? Next, I'm going to tell you about the 6th episode of the first season of The Candle in the Tomb.
The task of the advance team was to find a suitable construction site. There were 2 engineers, a surveyor, and a geological prospector accompanying them. After abandoning the car, they traveled in the mountains for 2 full days. At dusk on the 2nd day, everyone set up tents to rest. Scattered snowflakes floated in the leaden sky. It seemed that there would be a heavy snowfall at night. The 4 engineers and technicians were all intellectuals wearing glasses, and one of them was a woman. They were far from adapting to the harsh environment of the plateau. They lay in the tent and gasped. Just listening to the sound made people worry about their small bodies. The company instructor, squad leader, and medical staff who led the team were busy pouring water and medicine for them and persuading them to eat something. The less they ate, the more they would feel short of oxygen. The soldiers were physically strong. When they joined the army, they had experienced the training of 5 kilometers of armed cross-country march every day in the recruit camp. They had a strong ability to adapt to the environment. At this time, they had basically adapted to the oxygen-deficient environment. They lit a campfire with special white coal balls. The soldiers gathered together to keep warm and ate half-cooked noodles and compressed biscuits. Because the altitude was too high, the water could not be boiled, so the noodles could only be cooked half-cooked. The comrades, who were more familiar with me, were the big guy from Heilongjiang in E06, China, the Tibetan soldier Trevor, who joined the army in Tibet, and the Jylin communications soldier Scene, who was only 16 years old. We finished the noodles in a few bites and rested with heavy breath. It felt that the effort of eating a meal on the plateau was almost more than the armed cross-country march on the plains. Scene took a break and said to me, "August, you are a soldier from the city. You know a lot. Can you tell us a few stories?" The big guy also agreed. "I really like to hear you talk. It's so exciting anyway. I have to have a class meeting soon, and I can't rest early, so tell us a story first." Trevor didn't speak Chinese well, but I could understand it and wanted to say something. He opened his mouth for a long time, but couldn't think of what to say, so he just waved his hand at me. I guess what he meant was, "You talk, I want to listen too." I stuck out my tongue and said, "The air is so thin. How can you still be so energetic? Come on. Since you, comrade, want to listen, I will talk to you first. When the squad leader tries to make things difficult for me during the class meeting, you must help me to intercede." Why did I say that? Because our squad leader didn't like me very much. He joined the army from the countryside and worked in the army for 5 years like a young wife before becoming a squad leader. He especially couldn't stand me, a backdoor soldier who was the son of a high-ranking official. As soon as the class meeting started, he asked me to speak, and he would criticize me for a lot of loopholes in my speech. It almost became a fixed rule. I was so angry that I didn't mention it. But what should I say? I have read less than 10 books in total, including 4 books of Mao's selected works, 1 book of quotations from Mao Zedong, 1 book of dictionary, 1 book of Red Sunday, and 1 book of Young Guards. But I didn't tell them all these, and I don't think they could understand the book Pfaffer Shui secrets. I racked my brains and finally remembered a book I borrowed from Schumer when I went to the countryside. It was a folk legend manuscript that was very popular at the time. The content of this manuscript was mainly about the deeds of the Plum Blossom Party, and it also included many strange stories in the society at that time. Among them, there was a story about 100 beautiful women's skins, which left a particularly deep impression on me. The beginning of this story happened on a train from Beijing to Nanning Piper. A female college student took this train to visit her relatives in Nanning. The passenger sitting opposite her was a young and handsome PL officer. The two chatted intentionally or unintentionally. Piper was overwhelmed by the demeanor and conversation of the young officer during the conversation. She also learned that his family background was very good and he had received higher education. Piper even began to fantasize about marrying him unknowingly. The train arrived at Nanning Station. The officer invited Piper to sit in a restaurant near the train station during the meal. The officer made a phone call. When he came back, he took out a letter and asked Piper to help deliver it to his home in Nanning. Because he had an urgent task to rush back to the army first, he could not go home first. Piper agreed without hesitation, and the two reluctantly parted. The next day, Piper went to the officer's home to deliver a letter. An old woman received her. The old woman took out the letter and read it, then warmly invited Piper to her home and poured her a cup of tea. Piper drank a few sips of tea and chatted with the old woman. Suddenly she felt stars spinning in front of her eyes and fainted on the ground. A bucket of icy cold water woke Piper up. She found herself tied naked to a skinning bench, and the walls were covered with human skin. There were several people standing around the old woman and several burly men under her. She showed the letter to Piper. There was only one sentence on it. "Here comes the 100th skin of a beautiful woman. Please check it." The old woman sneered and said, "You are about to die. Let's die knowingly. We are all undercover spies. We peel off women's skins to load explosives inside. We need to prepare a total of 100 skins. Today we finally have enough." Then she took out a slash knife and gave it to one of her subordinates, asking him to peel Piper's skin alive. The slash knife is a special knife for peeling skin. The big man cut Piper's head with the knife. Amateur screams, minus just when I was talking about something. I was interrupted by the second squad leader who came over. Don't say anything, August. You are making up nonsense again. Now our class is holding a class affairs discussion meeting. Don't you like to talk with your little mouth? This time, let you speak first, okay?"